Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. Welcome to EP Live, everybody. This episode is dedicated to a brand new member, Chantel Deforge. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, you can hit that join button and support EPN. We'd love it if you did. Thank you so much, but let's get started with your rundown. Gamers won't have to wait much longer to start playing Kingdom Hearts 3. Square Enix has announced that after years in development, the highly anticipated new game is finally finished. Hooray! They've completed development, although they'll probably continue making minor tweaks and changes right up to launch. This is good news, particularly for anxious fans, because it means that there won't be any more delays for the game, which has already been pushed back several times. It was first announced at E3 2013, and fans have been waiting ever since Kingdom Hearts 2 came out back in 2005. Kingdom Hearts 3 lands January 25th. I freaking adore this game. What I've played so far. I haven't played the whole thing at all, but I had a good chunk of hands-on time at E3, and I was just blown away by its beauty and its just accessibility and its fun and its obvious lavish attention to detail for the Disney properties that this series has always paid homage to. I think this game is going to be such a great big treat in January. I can't wait to play this game with my kid. Her mind is just going to go poosh, because there's so many cool characters and so much cool stuff in this. It does look great. It played great. Music was great. Oh, God, I can't wait. This is great news. Let's continue. Not enough politicians are getting serious about climate change, but gamers will be able to deal with it in Civilization 6. 2K and Firaxis have announced Civilization 6 Gathering Storm, the second big expansion for the game. Gathering Storm will see the world ravaged by the effects of catastrophic climate change, including rising sea levels and intense storms. This will give players the opportunity to work with other nations to come up with solutions like new technologies and engineering projects so that humanity can deal with a changing world. Since the effects of climate change are becoming more and more obvious every day, people are going to have to start coming up with similar solutions in real life. In the meantime, Civilization 6 Gathering Storm will hit the PC in February. No word yet on when it might be coming to the new Nintendo Switch version of the game, and I heard that this Switch port is fantastic. I can't wait to check out this game again. Loved Civ 6 when I gave it a shot, and kudos to Firaxis for conceiving of this. I mean, Civilization, the series has always been pretty progressive and pretty much a great, perspective on the different designs that different civilizations have had over the years, the different aspirations and the different strategies that they've all had, and it's given players a wonderful perspective on the history and the way that history repeats itself over and over again. And yes, these are incredibly tumultuous times that we are living in the world out there, and my heart goes out to everybody affected by all the wildfires that have been currently happening in California. Tragedies and senseless tragedies, preventable tragedies everywhere, but we've got to kind of change our thinking around all of this stuff. And honestly, it's going to be storytelling and fiction and video games and simulations that I think get people reimagining how they fit in this equation. What are we going to have to do as the human race? Because it's like it or not, we're the shepherds of the future of the earth. It's going to be up to us to figure out how to solve all this stuff. We made a lot of this mess, and we've got to clean it up. It's as simple as that. But amazing. And I'm wondering actually, because there's a lot of dystopian fiction out there that predicts the oil shortage or nuclear strikes or whatever, but there's very little sort of progressive fiction, which I hazard to call science fiction at this point. I don't want to call it science fiction because it's sitting there right there in front of us, but there's a lot of opportunity for fiction out there to kind of show us what we do as a group of individuals to curtail a lot of this peril that's headed our way, And I think it's cool that it's going to be in games like this, and hopefully in a lot of stories coming our way soon. I hope it's not all just end of the world stuff that we get our entertainment from. Hopefully it's the preservation of our world fiction that will become a great new moment for us in storytelling. Would be great. After months of bad news, something good has finally come in about Telltale Games and The Walking Dead. Skybound Entertainment has officially announced that former members of the Telltale Games staff have resumed work on the final season of their episodic Walking Dead game. Telltale began closing down back in September, leaving the fate of their unfinished Walking Dead game in jeopardy. Skybound, which was founded by Walking Dead comic creator Robert Kirkman, first announced that they were hiring former Telltale developers to finish the game last month, but it took this long for work to start due to complicated legal issues surrounding the project. Now that work has finally resumed, the final episodes should be released in the coming months, although no precise release dates have been announced. There's also no word if Skybound will continue employing the former Telltale developers to create future games. I guess that all is predicated on the sales of this game, and I have a feeling that the good news surrounding this will propel people back to their digital stores and physical stores to check out some of these products. We've been talking about some of the Telltale titles disappearing off of Steam and other e-stores out there. But presumably, if Skybound is serious about this, they might have a real opportunity to scale back up again. Now, they're clearly not going to want to make a lot of the same mistakes that Telltale did. You can't just keep churning out the same kind of experience over and over again with a different coat of paint. That's honestly what caused the crash in the 80s. That was a big contributor to that. There just felt like there was this, similar kind of product being churned out there with different, paint jobs on the sprites and stuff. I'm absolutely dumbing down what Telltale was doing, because clearly there was a ton of work in telling these stories. But the core experience is the choose-your-own-adventure-ness of the Telltale Games did give each one of these titles a little samey kind of vibe. I'm not saying anything new. Everybody internally knew that. Everybody externally knew that. All of us reviewers knew that. And that always creates jeopardy in the game space, whether it's Tony Hawk or Lara Croft or, Assassin's Creed. If you've got too many experiences that feel not dissimilar from the previous time that you ventured out into that space, you are eating into your future. And that's what happened with Telltale. But the concepts and the original kind of value that Telltale provided in their games is still very much evident. And I feel like Skybound's got a real opportunity to turn some of their properties. I would love to see an Invincible, game along the same lines here. Or maybe it's learnings from that, but also popped into, some genre bending or busting, maybe it's an adventure game with some platforming elements or something with some really robust storytelling, or, I don't know, just ripping through the comic panels in some way. Hell, I'd love to see somebody do a Comic Zone beat-em-up type thing with some really fantastic Skybound level storytelling, but you're punching through comic panels, and maybe we've got an illustrator drawing some of that stuff. Anyways, lots that could be done there. Hopefully Skybound's in it to win it, and they're going to be supporting stuff like this for a long time. But excited to see what comes of these final chapters in the Walking Dead series. It looks like Valve's attempt to blur the lines between PC and console gaming has failed. The company has announced that they've discontinued their Steam Link device and will not be manufacturing more units. First released in 2015, the Steam Link is a tiny box that lets users wirelessly stream PC games from Steam directly to their TVs and play them like a console. It was one of several hardware devices that Valve released around the same time, along with the Steam controller. They haven't given a reason for discontinuing the Steam Link, although they promise to continue supporting existing units with new firmware updates well into the future. The good news is that this just gives Valve more time to work on Half-Life 3, hooray! Which we're expecting to be confirmed any day now. The Steam Link failed, I think, mostly because people could just plug their PCs into their TVs with HDMI. That's what I did. And I have a Steam Link, never used it. I just put the HDMI from my PC into the TV. I am definitely a couch gamer. I don't like to sit at a desk. I don't like to sit at a desk too much, period. I do most of my work, honestly, on the run, because I'm traveling all the time, so it's on an iPad or it's on an iPhone. Or if I'm gaming or watching stuff and I have to kind of check in, I'm usually looking up from whatever screen I'm having to be lost in for my job and looking at a portable device to get most of my information. So I don't like to be at a desk that often. That's me, and I recognize that I'm a rarity out there. Not everybody has the luxury to be a game reviewer or a movie reviewer like I am. But I don't like to sit at a desk that often. I mean, obviously I edit on a computer and stuff, but after working for 5 or 6 hours to edit something or to write something up on a computer, I don't want to sit at that same seat, at that same desk, and then start gaming. I've done that. Certainly I've done that in my gaming career many, many times over the years, but I know my preference is to sit down and sit back and relax and chill and get lost into the to the screen that's in front of me, or sometimes with the headset that's on my head. But you know, so since we've been able to, I've plugged my PC directly into the PC, and I've had a decent console quality experience that way, without having to stream it, without having to worry about any lag or bandwidth issues or anything like that. I've certainly tested out the Steam Link when I got it, and I thought it was pretty cool for sure, but it just was just as easy to plug my PC right into my television. And I think that is ultimately what sealed the fate of the Steam Link. I think most people just said, you know what, I'll just plug my PC right into here, or I'll get another PC that just plugs right in here, and I'll just access my material that way. I feel like we are moving into a world where the hardware is not really going to be dependent on that experience anymore. You know, we're going to have smart televisions that access these accounts, and we're going to have Xbox accounts and PlayStation accounts, and down the road Nintendo accounts, and we're not going to be thinking too much about what box is plugged in with whatever way, you know. And maybe Valve's already moving towards that. Maybe they're already thinking Steam should just be available on smart televisions in the future. I don't know. Things are getting crazy. All right, you guys, that's our rundown for today. Do me a favor and share this exported, clipped out rundown video with the hashtag #PlayForever if you can. But right now, we are going to move to this day in everything cool.